Welcome to BIA, Canada's top black media provider. Whether you're looking for shows on fashion, art, music, or simple lifestyle, we bring you the best content the black community in Canada has to offer and so much more. And better yet, do you have an idea for a project you'd like us to help you with? We provide equipment, studio, and office space, as well as a team of dedicated individuals to help you bring those ideas to life. So don't wait. Check out our new website at biamedia.ca for more information on how to contact us and start creating today. BIA Media, your way.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to In the Black, Getting Black to Business. And I am your host, Grantley Othniel Adams, the president of Live Lending Group, Canada's best platform for unsecured commercial lending. And I'd like to introduce a special, very, very special guest. I've spoken to this young person numerous times, an amazing prolific business owner, and I would consider him Toronto's tailor, okay, for suits, customized suits, right? He's also an image consultant. Now, I didn't even know what an image consultant was. I didn't even know I needed one until now, but I really want one, right? And he's like your local Southern Road. And if you don't know what that is, look it up, Google it. And to even start this interview, I had to change my suit like 3-4 times because I was intimidated. He's the best at customized suits, and I had to look good. I had to look the dress to impress, right? And if you didn't know what I was talking about, actually, you know what? Let's go to a quick video so you can see exactly what I'm speaking about.
Hi, I'm Mr. Kaizen, and I'm a lifestyle coach, and my mission is to help men develop the best versions of themselves. If you feel like you've lost some self-confidence or that you need help to develop better habits to get to your goals, or that your style needs an upgrade, we should talk. Book a free 20-minute consult with me to see how we can take that journey together. The only way to change is to take action. Looking forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you.
Welcome. And you know who I'm speaking about. It is Mr. Kaizen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a very generous introduction. I appreciate it. Gratitude.
Man, it's the truth, though. It's the truth. Taylor. That's how I feel, right? And you can see it. You can see the craftsmanship in the background. I mean, he's got the mannequin there with the velour blue. It's amazing. So how are you today, Mr. Kaizen?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm here. And I'm about to have a great conversation with you. So what do I have to complain about?
So do you prefer Mr. Kaizen? Because I like calling people by their business name, or should we call you? I
like Mr. Kaizen. It kind of is my moniker, and it's representative of me. So please, that's fine. Yeah.
And so if people didn't understand, you do customized suits,
right?
That's not just it, right? So you do customized suits, but you're also an image consultant.
Correct. I like to say I work from the inside out. With most of my clients, I take them from a mental space where they might be unsure of what they want to present.
Yeah.
And then we work on getting their confidence up, getting a clear image of what they want their visuals to be, their presentation to be. And then we get into the customized suit section, which is the end product. I always say we start from the inside and work our way out, because you don't want to dress up someone that is not in the right mental state. You know what I mean?
Because they're wearing your clothes, right? Well, there's
their clothes. When I'm done with it, it's their clothes, right? Because that's the custom part, is that we make it to represent, again, the visual presentation that you want to give from across a room or across the street or what have you. So,
wow, amazing, amazing. Yeah. And now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been image consultant for 10 years. The suiting side of the business, I incorporated 6 years ago.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So, and how has business been going for you?
I mean, as most people, unless you were a big farm or the supermarkets, it wasn't a good period for that COVID 2-year period. And 2022, we've seen a comeback. More people are getting married again, and guys want to put on clothes and go out again. So there's definitely been an uptick. So business is steady.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. As long as business is steady, because I know that the nature of business is up and down.
Right.
And I wanted to find out how did you even get into this, right?
So I've always been an entrepreneur, but it was hard for me to work for someone else. So I'm always looking for opportunity. And let's say around 2016, I was already working as an image consultant, just representing clients. Guys would come to me for makeovers, that kind of thing, for upgrades. I'm changing jobs, and I'm now an executive. What's the look? That kind of thing. Yeah. That I got into just by I decided I had a natural inclination for it. Let me study it, and away we started that part of the business. But then in 2016, a very close friend of mine committed suicide.
Oh wow!
This was a guy that had his own tech company, just signed the biggest contract of his life. Had a girlfriend that he had just shared that he was going to propose to. Had dinner with him the night before, and the next day he committed suicide. Like, wow. I didn't see the signs.
Yeah.
He wasn't the first. He was the closest to me, but 3 months earlier, another friend had done the same thing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Yeah. So it really made me assess what it is the people around me were going through, especially the men specifically, and what I wasn't seeing, because I took everything, at face value. And if you seem like you're doing okay, then you must be doing okay. So it made me want to delve into the coaching side of things, and just the mindset of what men are going through, and what drives us to suicide, what drives us to keep our pain in, to the point where we just feel like the only outlet is to end the whole thing. So I started to study just everything I could find on men's health, men's mental health, men's mental state. And that's how the coaching side of the business came into place. I didn't want to lose another friend, and I didn't want to lose another man just because they were stuck, not being able to express whatever pain they were feeling, or whatever stuck place they were in, whatever dark hole they were being stuck in.
They were secretly struggling.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're encouraged, and not only that, we're expected to be kind of tough. I think even black men too, because
specifically in my research, especially us. Yeah. We have to be the Superman. We have to be the Denzel Washington in Training Day all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfeeling. We're just in the demigods are of course. We just have to be warriors, and warriors don't cry. We don't feel. We just go out and do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to give just for everybody watching too, check on your friends, especially your friends that seem very happy, they're doing really well. Apparently, it seems like those are the ones that tend to, are suffering the most inside. So, check up on your friends, and so I wanted to kind of talk about, because you got into the coaching side, but on the suit side, the tailor side, how did you get into that? Because that's not something everybody does, right?
No, it was always, I've always been a fashionable guy. And the moment I was able to afford it, most of my clothes were made by other custom tailors. So I started to study from them, and I made it, first it was just a hobby. Let me learn how to make a shirt. Let me learn how to create a jacket. It started on a vacation trip in Europe, and then I came back, and it was like, I really, 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 really enjoyed the creative process. So I started to make my own stuff, just my clothing on my own. And clients would be like, I'd be recommending them, oh, let me take you here. Let me take you, for example, to Harry Rosen or to another custom. And they're like, no, but where do you get yours? I want this particular look. And that's how it started. I started just doing.
You were making your own.
I was just making my own. Then I started designing my own. Then other clients started to ask, hey, I want that look specifically. And so boom, I said, all right, that's where the incorporation of the coaching and the suiting came into play, because image consulting is just that. It's what are you projecting, not only in how you speak, how you stand, but how are you dressed? Yeah. And they don't get to the speech until they decide they want to talk to you from the image. And a lot of people forget that part. The visuals are very important.
Okay, I wanted to steer away from this for a second because I get into debate. I have a lot of professional friends, bankers, guys in tech companies and things like that. And one of the things that they always tell me is I try to move away from the hyper professionalism, right? I feel that to a certain extent, it could be somewhat faux, somewhat fake. And I don't want to call them fake, but I mean, some of the people that you see that look the most professional are doing the most unprofessional things on the weekends, right? So I wanted to find out from you, how important is it to really exude that image of professionalism?
It's extremely important. It's one of those things that will never go away unless you are Zuckerberg or Musk or one of those guys.
Okay.
That your name is, everybody knows what you're about. Yeah. Trust is built by visuals first. It's just it's psychological. Yeah. So I mean, if you walk into the bank, and I'll give you an example just because it will make it very specific and distinct. If you walk in a bank, you're not a famous person, jeans sagging, Yeezy t-shirt with holes in it, ball cap on, and a gentleman that's dressed properly walks in, there's going to be two assumptions made. Okay. It's just how our society is. It's just how our brains are made up. I mean, you are less threatened by somebody in a suit than somebody that's dressed what would be considered shabby or less professional. It's just, those are just facts. Yeah. So yes, it's important to, now there's a difference between looking like a TD banker and being well dressed. Those are two different things. What a lot of guys struggle with. They think, well, I need to be in a navy blue suit in order to look well dressed. But again, image is about presentation, and it's about having a certain, it's swagger. It really is about swagger. It is, yeah. There's certain elements that has to be there, right? You can't look like you're a corner boy. People will treat you like you're a banker. It psychologically just doesn't make any sense. It's true. It's true. We can argue whether that's fair or right and all that other nonsense, but facts are facts and perception is perception. And we know what perception is.
It's exactly the truth. I think that to a certain extent, people will already have their preconceived ideas and assumptions of us as Black men. So we almost have to work harder to to disparage those preconceived ideas and stereotypes for sure. Now, so thank you. That was great. So I hope a lot of people watching that actually pick up on that and realize what they're doing when they say, oh, I don't care what people think about how I look. This is me. This is that, right?
And that's another falsehood. We all care what people think when they look at us. I don't know a soul that doesn't. So, exactly. I mean, saying that it's your way of avoiding taking some action in your presentation. That's really what it is. Yeah. It's saying I want to stay the same. And society should conform to me versus the other way around.
It's fear. I think it's a fear. People are scared, right? People are scared. And another question too. So other than the image consulting and lifestyle coaching, what are you doing differently than your competition?
Well, first of all, I don't think anyone else out there has combined the two things.
Okay.
I to my knowledge, I'm the only lifestyle custom suitor out here, custom designer out here. So that alone is different because my approach again is not just, hey, come see me to get a suit made.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how can I enhance your life? What is it you want to present, and how can I help you paint that picture?
Mhm.
And that's a little bit different than trying to just sell you a suit.
Yeah.
And most of my clients, they are on as image consultants, image clients first, who I also happen to make suits for.
Mhm.
So that's my differentiator right there.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
the package deal that I offer, and I don't just look for you to make one suit with me. I kind of try to understand your lifestyle and create for you I try to do it over a period of a year.
Mhm.
Than just, hey, come see me if you need a wedding suit. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not Harry Rosen. I'm not a come in and shop and go kind of a business. So I'm looking to help enhance I'm your guy that you call, no different than your barber, no different than your accountant, no different than your lawyer in some cases. So,
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
build that relationship because I mean,
Yeah.
I can see why. I can see why. Because
You can call me. You're going out on a date. You know, you want to. Which restaurant should I go out to? Which kind of places would fit the image? You know,
All right.
doing a big business meeting. So
Yeah.
those things are different than what you could do with most other tailors or you know, you're not going to get that kind of service from Indochina or Suit Supply. Let's just say.
Okay.
So that's where I'm different.
Yeah. And now, what are the biggest challenges that you faced in this industry for your business?
Well, marketing is always the biggest challenge. I mean, you're a small business. You're operating. Toronto is a big city, but it's not. You know, in comparison, when you go stateside, and especially, let's people always assume, oh, so you're a black tailor, you make for black folk. So they put you in this box in a lot of cases, which I'm lucky because I shouldn't say lucky, but I have clients that are not just black clients. I have clients of all shapes and creeds. But that's one of the limitations, because then people assume, well, you're black, so therefore you should be cheaper than
Okay.
other establishments. Your prices should be lower.
Yeah.
Because I try to wrap my mind around that type of thinking and that mindset. It still doesn't make any sense to me. But the assumption is, well, maybe you're not as talented, or you don't know as much, or you know. So it's a funny thing. And I'm being very specific to the Canadian market because there's less black folk to appeal to. But even they have that mentality that when they come see you, it should somehow be less expensive than any other custom tailor would be charging, who is of Italian descent or white or what have you. So it's an interesting limiting factor, because then you gotta always. It's not assumed that you're good. You have to prove that you're good.
You have to constantly be proving yourself
all the time.
Yeah, no,
and you're not allowed to make the same kind of mistakes or any. You can't fumble the ball. You got to hit the mark every time, or right away it's like, well, I knew you were gonna, you know.
Yeah.
There's an assumption that is there that you always have to be overcoming and overcoming and overcoming.
There's less margin for error, for sure.
Nope.
Man, that's crazy. So, you know, not only that, it's harder in a few senses. You know, I definitely want to, you know, work with you in terms of getting some suits made, because one of the things I've noticed, and I mean, I'm getting off topic here, is the pants that I wear. Like I think, you know, I don't know where I go shopping or in these stores, but it just seems like the areas aren't where they're supposed to be. I'm not sure if this is.
Let me help you.
The melanated people. I don't know if it's maybe
It's our backsides and our thighs, and it's our junk. Those are
okay.
Simple facts.
Okay, perfect.
That's the simple facts. And most designers are of white origin, and they don't have those problems. So therefore, they're not designing with those things in mind. So if you are Asian or Caucasian, then buying off the rack is an easy choice for you because it's made with that body type in mind.
Yeah.
When you're a person of color, our bodies are just different. They're more muscular, thicker, all the terms you want to, more athletic. Those are just facts. So people shy away from discussing those things when I talk with other designers, and I'm like, how did you get your model into those pants? Even when I work with models, they always appreciate the way my pants fit because I make pants that have room for extra stuff. And
amazing. And then so if you find yourself with those same challenges and you're watching this right now, definitely reach out to Mr. Kaizen if you're in the Toronto GTA or even in the Canadian area. Really reach out to Mr. Kaizen because it seems like he's got the formula to kind of address those issues. Right. And so now the biggest question, because obviously I own a finance company and I try my hardest, and I've actually gone through the same things where our people just figure that they're not going to get the best service, or it's probably going to be second rate. Whereas I actually work harder, I work faster, I negotiate harder with my lenders to be able to get people financing. Whereas some of my counterparts, they put a crazy amount of margins on their and like people are okay with it. It's like people are willing to spend more and be taken advantage more.
Right.
And I've kind of had to get over that in my head too. But in terms of finance, now, I mean, obviously I believe every business is going to need financing at some point, especially in the beginning, but throughout their growth and journey. Now, how have you financed your business?
Well, initially it was through, I had a previous business and I took the funds from that when I decided I'm going to start this business. And I agree with you that the financing is needed in the beginning, but you need financing all the time. I mean, marketing doesn't get cheaper. Materials don't get cheaper. Labor doesn't get cheaper. Everything gets more expensive.
Yes.
And your business is not always growing to where you can use profits to maintain all those things. So you need a constant supply of funds that you can access in order to keep growing and in order to be able to attract more clients so you can get to the point that you need.
Sure.
So financing is critical. And it's one of the things. Well, if we're talking Black business, it's one of the most limiting factors because, again, you already have the hindrance of having to prove to clients that you can deliver what it is you deliver, and then you have to constantly be negotiating your prices, right? Which was the shortcoming I got over real quick. Because then I just started to say, well, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But we're no longer going to have this negotiation. The only negotiation is, are you buying 3 or 4 at one time? Then we can talk about a special price. But the needs for funds, and again, we're at a disadvantage because, especially when you're Black, we just know this is a fact. You don't have mom and dad in most cases where you can go, hey, can you co-sign for me? And you go get this big line of credit from TD or BMO or whatever, what have you. So you're doing it on your own. And especially if you're an entrepreneur, you might have made a mistake here or something didn't go right. So going to the big banks and trying to get a loan is you're pushing a boulder, a boulder uphill.
Yeah.
So yeah, if one of the biggest things is securing funding that is ongoing, not just let me get a loan to start the business and then I'll be I'm gonna be able to run a profit. Profits are not always there.
Exactly.
They're just not.
Right.
Sometimes you're just breaking even or just keeping the business afloat. So you need to have that influx of funds that are not connected to your profits that you can use to, again, keep marketing going, keep paying for raw materials, and keep paying for the extra labor you might need.
Yeah. And what do you think the banks could be doing better to help businesses, and just businesses in general, but, like in your situation, what could they have done better?
Everything. Take away the assumptions. Take away the idea that I had one banker. He was very frank. At first I was insulted, but it helped me understand their thinking. He's like, well, you're basically like a black tailor, and nobody's ever done this before. So why should we trust we're going to get our money back? And I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The same way you trusted Todd and Harry, and, but in the moment, that wasn't my response. I went on to explain, and well, you saw my business plan. You see what I've already done, and here's things I've already paid back. But, well, the amount you're asking for, how about we give you this and see what you do with this? Well, this is not what I need. So you giving me this is not helping me. It's keeping me at a disadvantage. So it just really helped make clear that big banks are not for people of color. Let's just be frank. They're not looking to help us unless we come in with 3 times the credit score, the paperwork. We better have land. We better have 2 condos that we can put up, all that kind of stuff. They see us as a higher risk regardless of what our paperwork is. So we have to come in, again, 3 times stronger than a regular white applicant, even Asian applicants, because I've done my research on that. I'm just like, you got how much? I know on paper I look better than you. What is happening right now? So, maybe if they couldn't see us, that would be different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You're 100% right. I can attest to that, that I've had 2 situations, 2 files. I always go back to this restaurant. One was a Jamaican restaurant, one was a Greek restaurant. On paper, the Jamaican restaurant was doing a lot better in business in a better area, generating more revenue, and the credit profiles were a lot better. But for whatever reason, they were declined. The Greek restaurant wasn't. So wasn't sure exactly what that meant or what, and the underwriting process created that. But definitely, you're not crazy. So that doesn't happen. Now, I have to ask this question. Now, that banker, was it one of the big 6?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You see, and this is what I mean, because I know we're gonna go for a break just now, but it's like, where's the risk, right? Like, the bank is a business; they have to make money, so loaning money out to make some money. Now, if you know that no one's done something before, and I guess you don't have that cookie cutter example of, okay, well, this is what it's gonna make. If you have an industry that's saturated, the chances of the business not working because there's too much competition is a lot higher than saying someone who's first in a category, right? So to me, it's like that was very short-sighted. I don't think
and the money isn't short anyways. They're not lending you money that they're just because. And that's the thing that we as most, I think, Black entrepreneurs don't understand. These loans are not, especially from the big 6. They don't lose. There's no risk involved for them. There's 0 risk involved.
Yeah.
So again, it's the person that you're talking to, because then they go, well, the bank's rules. Well, I know the bank has rules, but you have certain leeways that you can say, oh, well, especially if the person comes with the things that they need to come with, the good business plan, the finances laid out, all that kind of stuff. So it's I know what I know it is, but
Yeah.
we'll just leave that. We'll just table that for now.
Okay, no, and I definitely, I mean, maybe we can come back another time and talk about that, but definitely, you're right. If there is no risk, I mean, like what they would consider a risk is not being able to hit their quotas, their goals, or their earnings
Right.
numbers, and then, not being able to get, I guess, more investments and things like that, but
Right.
definitely. Now, okay, so tell me, what do you wish you knew before starting the business?
Where all my funding was going to come from.
Wow. It always comes down to the money, right? Oh my goodness.
I mean, if you're running a small business, money is the basis of it. I strongly believe that if you have the money to do the right kind of marketing, especially the target marketing you need to do, the kind of branding you need to do, because it's all about repetitive. Humans take repetition, and they take the sale of an image. If you have the funds to really put that out in a polished way, in a clear-cut way, then boom, you're set. That costs money, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're working in two reasons. If you're introducing a new product, then definitely you need to be advertising and promoting and branding.
Yeah.
And secondly, to compete with the other big guys that are doing what you're doing and have the established brand names and all that. So
yeah. And I want to get back to that in terms of marketing and having where the funding was coming from. But we got to take a short break, pay the bills. And then when we get back, we're going to be talking some more with Mr. Kaizen, the Toronto's tailor.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here. And as always, on most Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Black Canada Talking is a live online event that provides Black Canadians the opportunity to give their takes and POVs on stories that are of importance to them.
Guinea could not afford to participate, but at the last minute came in because there's always issues of money and corruption.
That guy gets to go to jail because he doesn't have the money and he doesn't have the status that Bill Cosby gets. And Bill Cosby gets to get off, not just for the money as well, advancing age, etc.
I'm just going to echo a few things you're mentioning. We know that the Olympics, the Tokyo Committee, and also the Olympic Committee was against any protests.
God bless, peace well, keep the faith, and remember, walk good.
Hi, I'm Mr. Kaizen, and I'm a lifestyle coach, and my mission is to help men develop the best versions of themselves. If you feel like you've lost some self-confidence or that you need help to develop better habits to get to your goals, or that your style needs an upgrade, we should talk. Book a free 20-minute consult with me to see how we can take that journey together. The only way to change is to take action. Looking forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome back to In the Black, Getting Black to Business. And I am your host, Grant Lee Othniel Adams from Live Lending Group. I want to give a quick shout out to BIA Media for giving us a platform for us to celebrate our melanated merchants. And today we're going into part two of right after the break with Mr. Kaizen. I call him Toronto's tailor. He's a tailor suit king, image consultant. So welcome back, Mr. Kaizen.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kaizen, I wanted to, before we went off on break, you were talking about knowing where your funds came from, and you're 100% right with that, because you have to be able to compete, right? And I mean, even the perfect example is with SEO, search engine optimization. So depending on how much money you put towards marketing is where you're going to stand on the Google searches, right? So for Taylor that has the budget, or the bank is more leans towards, and so it looks like more favorably, is going to make the chances of people going to them first is a lot higher than going to. So it is an uphill battle, like you mentioned, pushing that boulder uphill, right?
Absolutely.
So it's and now what else? I mean, in terms of funding, how else does the funding kind of hold you back, or lack of there?
Well, branding. It all comes back to how many people can you get yourself in front of and get your product in front of.
Yeah.
The whole point of marketing is let's put it out to the people we want to reach in a polished way, because that's important, and then get as many of them to try you out as possible, and then deliver on them, spending their money with you. All of that requires funds from the beginning, from the first time you engage the customer to being able to identify your customer. We're now in a social media market. So anybody who doesn't think as a business, especially if you're a small business, that social media shouldn't be a part of your budgeting and you don't need to be present, you're lying to yourself. You are. And content costs money. Whatever you're doing, I don't, even if you're doing it yourself, that's time, that's effort, then you got to edit it and all that stuff. So you would need software. All aspects of the process, funds are important. And we all know, as small business clients aren't lining up to run in to spend their money. So there goes a week where you probably you only have one coaching client and one suiting client. That is not going to pay the bills. So if you had those extra funds, now you could be, all right, let me put out another campaign to get more eyeballs on here. Maybe I'll attract 2 more people. At every point, how you spend those funds, marketing, branding, constant customer outreach, even just being out. In my situation, as a guy that does suiting, I have to be at the events and be in places where I can mingle with the people that I'm trying to attract, or who will be talking about, be seen at magazines, get pictured, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is a constant. You can't take your foot off the pedal. You have to understand that, okay, I'm constantly in marketing mode. And that requires funds.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. And I believe in the fashion industry, because that's you're in the fashion industry.
Award-winning designer. You gotta. Let me put that out there. Award-winning designer. So
literally, someone can have a T-shirt. It's a normal T-shirt, but someone puts Versace or whatever, Mr. Kaizen on it, and that T-shirt is worth 50 times more. So it's like, I know branding is important for me in the finance industry too, reputation, things like that, target marketing. But with you, it's that much more important, right? So I can understand that, like that being the number one thing in terms that you have to put towards in terms of budgeting, right? So and now I wanted to find out what drives you to keep going.
Persistence and perseverance. That's okay. I love what I do. That's first and foremost. It wasn't, as a kid, as a teenager, certainly this wasn't what I saw for myself. As we've discussed, it was law or journalism or something along those lines. But once I started to do this work, and when I see the change in the men that I work with, when their girlfriends, wives, mothers, just lady friends and other friends of theirs go, man, the way you changed this guy's life is unbelievable. That is so satisfying. Like it's worth more than the money to get that customer satisfaction, that change, the change. When you're able to change somebody's life for the best or help them level up, there's no feeling like that. So that, when I get up in the morning and there's a struggle, I remind myself why I'm still going to get dressed and still go at it and still write content and still put out the effort 110%.
Wow.
Because I'm driven by being a change maker and being a part of that process that helps other guys. Because for me, it's the same thing. I'm not done. I still gotta be shook around sometimes, and all that stuff. So it's important to me that I always reflect on. Okay, I ask myself the 3 questions in the morning: why, how, and what will make you stop. And until I am able to answer the what will make me stop part, I'll keep going.
Amazing. I like that. I like seeing that the fact that it's the results.
Yes.
It's the results and the positive feedback. And I can see how that drives me too.
Yeah.
I was able to help a business. Just recently, I helped a business expand. And they're doing really well now, and they've been able to free up some time to go and spend time with their children. So that right there gives me, that drive to wake up and to keep going. So I'm glad that, you're able to see such positive outcomes. And I think that because you mentioned working from the inside out, and I know that has a lot to do with attitude, right?
Yeah.
And attitude is really a precursor to your success,
Yes.
So definitely. And now, just to touch on that, what is one of your most memorable moments in what you do in business?
Wow, there's been a few. But it comes back. One of a client I was working with was done. He was over it. His lady had left him. He was having problems at work because his lady had left him. He was becoming a bit of a recluse. He was just over everything, ready to quit his job, and wasn't sure what he was going to do with himself. And I worked with him. I actually still work with him, but we got him to a point where he was not only feeling good about himself, but like he had put on weight because of during the whole process.
Yeah.
Wasn't dressing well, to the point that his job, which was a customer-facing job, kind of gave him a talking to. And that's when he came to see me, because he was like, well, I just feel like quitting anyways. But I figured he saw one of my little videos that I have on Instagram, and he's like, let me call this guy and see. And he's gotten 2 promotions. He's lost weight, dressing better, feeling better, has a new lady in his life, like a complete change. And again, it's those moments that drive me, that when I can help you discover that it's not over and that this is just a bump in the road. And it sounds so cliche.
Yeah.
And then that's what really keeps people stuck, because they feel like it's just words. There's no reality here, but people have done it before you and people will keep doing it. So why shouldn't you be the story that somebody can talk about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then it's not a cliche, it's reality. So that's one moment, because, and this was just recently, it was during the pandemic. And
no, the pandemic was crazy for a lot of people.
It was hard, because one, you're isolated, you lost the person that you thought you were going to be able to spend the pandemic with. And it just makes everything else seem like, well, why am I still kicking up every day? You lose motivation, you lose incentive, you lose your sense of self. And that's, it's some people can't imagine it, but for some people, they're on the brink of it every day.
It's true. Some people are just on the edge of the cliff. Now, what I wanted to ask you, where do you see your business in 5 years?
Associates, definitely. I'd like, in 5 years, I'd definitely like to have at least 4 or 5 associates doing what I do.
Okay.
I'd prefer to be more on the speaking and motivating groups on a larger scale, and the brand itself being one that people recognize as soon as they hear about it. It's just, oh yeah, that's obviously a Mr. Kaizen.
That's a Mr. Kaizen.
Yeah. And it's first choice. It's not, oh, let's go to Harry's and walk around and get something, traditional.
Yeah.
No, we gotta get something from Mr. Kaizen. So those 3 components is really what I'd like to see in 5 years. More speaking to groups, the brand being recognized as a name brand,
Exactly.
and associates definitely want to teach other guys how to help other men develop, and I call it elevate your style of life, right? Not elevate your lifestyle, but elevate your style of life. It's my business slogan. That's what I'd like to see.
So all the young people, the young men, young women too as well. If you want to, there's an intern. Seems like there's a few intern positions here at Mr. Kaizen.
Absolutely.
Just contact him. Now, who is your perfect client? Who would you consider your perfect client?
One, you have to be coachable. You have to. I no longer do makeovers as people like to call it.
Okay.
Well, I prefer you to recognize that, you know what, I'm not at the best version of myself. And I recognize that I need just a little bit more guidance, just somebody to hold me accountable, because that's my main job, is to hold you accountable to the things that you claim you want to do. And then, because I've studied it, lived it, experienced it, then I can guide you through, let's not do it the long way and the hard way. Let's do it the smart way and the right way. And those are two different mindsets.
Gems, Mr. Kaiser. He's dropping gems. Shows his gems.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I see why you can charge for your services. I mean, I'm uplifted right now just talking to you. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, what do you have a mentor, or
several. Some that were close to me. Others that are just people that I admire from a distance. I mean, I can go with the cliche Obama and Will Smith and guys like that. But yeah, I definitely, there's guys that when I'm struggling, that I pick up the phone and call and go, man, I can't pull from any resources today. I'm empty. I need some advice. I need some gems, or I just need to vent and know that I can trust the person I'm venting to. You know what I mean? Understand? Without being judged, without being criticized, without being told to man up and all that stupid jargon. So definitely, you always need somebody in your corner who has experienced it, who has lived it, and not necessarily specifically what you're going through exactly, but they can give you some good advice as, here's how you navigate through this. Here's how you're going to push through this. Here's what you can pull from. Here's a resource you probably haven't considered yet. Those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Actually, you're right. Man, the venting part is because I find that that's probably one of the most important things. I try to keep things, but sometimes you just need to just let it all out. So just so you can
do that too much, especially as Black men. We hold it in, and that stuff messes up not only our mental health, but it starts affecting our liver and our kidneys and our heart and our blood pressure. All of that. I'm telling you. That's why women outlive us, because they let it all out. They have a good cry. They get the girlfriends and they talk about it, and they have deep rooted conversations while we just do the surface stuff, because again, we're conditioned to present strong, to present Superman, to be Black Panther at all times. And that's just not realistic nor sustainable. So
and you're 100% right about that. I mean, we could even have a whole separate episode on just that alone, and how it affects our, us physically. And I hope people watching this do take care of their mental health, just because it's directly connected to your physical health too as well.
100%.
And Mr. Kaizen, just a few more questions before we wrap it up. But one is, what is, in your opinion, what is the key to success?
Persistence, for one. Belief in self. And perseverance.
Okay.
If you can practice those three things, then success is around the corner. And I believe we all should measure success about our personal level of satisfaction. Because for some people it's a monetary figure.
Yeah.
For others it's a comfort in life. For others is a freedom to, I am not always working. So success is many different things to many different people, and we need to get away from this old world belief that it's success is about what's in your bank account. Because I know a lot of people with high net worth that look at Kanye. Do you think he's worth $2 billion? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That man does not look like a happy man to me. Not contented, not at peace. So success is peace.
Yeah.
Peace comes from feeling good about what you're doing and what the results you're getting from it and how you're affecting others. So that's for me. That's how I label it. Peace.
Man, another thing we could talk about too, and yeah, I mean that even goes down with the mental health part of it.
Yes,
is we all wanted to be billionaires. I mean, when I was younger, that's all I thought about is I would take over the world and just be a billionaire even. But you see now that doesn't help you mentally. That doesn't
there's only so much money you can spend, my friend. So I mean,
right. And so I had one last question.
Sure.
And then I'm going to start asking everybody this question. Let's say you had $100,000 right now. Where would you, for your business? What would you put that towards? How would you break that down?
Oh, definitely to man. I hate sounding like a broken record, but more marketing, more branding, bringing on more assistants. Getting a full-time dedicated second tailor that could handle what I would assume would be the influx of business, and then investing in other things that could multiply some of that 100,000 to keep again. It's having that constant flow that is not directed to the profits from your business, but how do you take that influx of cash and multiply even that to bring in more, so that you always have that safety net of which is not an American Express gold card, but just taking that money and making sure you're constantly adding to it, so you have that base that you can always pull from. Oh man, in my business, the wedding show is coming up. All right, let me bang out 20 hot suits that are just going to shut down the whole show. Let me be able to hire the right models to have the looks of it. That, when you have to be struggling and thinking about, okay, maybe I'll only do 7 instead of that 20 that would be the show starter. So it's man, what I would do with 100,000 right now in terms of how I would grow the business and how I would. I know exactly how I would distribute it throughout the business in each of the key areas to strengthen the business and making sure that, all right, now I'm going to get more clients and I'm ready to take on those clients.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that makes perfect sense, man. 100K, obviously. And in terms of investing and other things, like, so I know it's textiles, right? Is that in terms of like, fabric? So you get a discount if you buy in bulk. Is that how it works?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And what if you had your own textile company? Would that
absolutely? Because now you're not worried about you're only selling what you've bought, and this is my signature line. Yeah. And this way, it's not let me have 400 samples. Let me have 120.
Yeah,
and these are my dime pieces. You're absolutely going to look good in any one of these that you choose, and then I can just focus on buying those at a cheaper price because I'm going to buy it in volume now, not just per order. That changes everything, and then I'm just marketing those 120.
Yeah,
so it simplifies everything when you have that capital to do specific things that you want to do. Yeah. And let's not, I keep stressing it, but niche marketing is a very important thing. And that costs dollars because you got to constantly researching. Then you got to figure out where you can find them and then figure out the best way to reach them. And that cost money.
It does cost money. You're right.
Yeah.
You have targeted marketing
Yep.
for sure. And now, you know what, Mr. Kaizen, we could talk forever. You've got honestly, insightful. Now I see why you charge to speak with people. I almost feel like, you know, I should be paying for this interview because gems that I feel are going to bring me forward as a business owner. You've actually consulted. I feel like my image has improved just talking to you in this interview. And for everybody watching, please check out Mr. Kaizen. Give him a call. His number, his website is Meet Mr. Kaizen, KAIZEN.com. The number is 416-849-2000. You can email him at info@meetmrkaizen.com. And you meet him for image consulting. He's a lifestyle coach too as well. He can suit you. He's a tailor. So he's a one-stop shop for anything that you need. It's just for your mental health, for your physical health, even just how you look. So always check out Mr. Kaizen. I consider him Toronto's tailor, and I hope to hear from you again, talk to you again, Mr. Kaizen. But thank you so much.
Anytime. I enjoyed this. This was great. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So everybody, we're gonna see you again next week, and in the black, and we're getting black to business with Mr. Kaizen.
Ottawa's Black Business Alliance, a place where you can learn to be your own person and build the future you want for yourself. Our mission is to help young entrepreneurs achieve their business goals through the best coaching, managing, consulting, and a slew of other services. Together, we can become a pillar in the Afro-Canadian community. Don't hesitate to contact us through our website at www.oba.ca, and remember that building tomorrow starts today. OBA Consulting. Take hold of your future.